Got a few comments lately that said we would like to see a steak fried rice recipe, and I thought, how in the world have I cooked this long and not made a steak fried rice? We have chicken fried rice, we have fried rice, we have lo mein, you name it, we got it. Today is all about steak fried rice, and we got a couple of tips and tricks inside. Let's go. To get the video started, we're talking about a sauce even before you get the fried rice. The longer you let this come together and let sit, the better off it's going to be. I mentioned several times when I make like a fried rice or a hibachi that we love yum yum sauce. Surprises us that how many people say, what is yum yum sauce? I don't know it called any other way. This is not the company that we typically deal with, but this is the one that we bought most recently. And it's actually called yum yum sauce. So that way you guys don't think I'm crazy. It's just like a mayonnaise sweet based sauce that maybe the Southerners use to put on their fried rice and hibachi. I don't really know how to explain it. This is called a white sauce. It's different, but it should be just as good. And I'm interested to try it. I've seen it a little bit, so we're gonna try it out. To get started, and always, this recipe will be on theflattopking.com if it's worth a darn. Mayonnaise, sugar, soy sauce, garlic powder, black pepper, paprika, a little mirin, and water to thin it out. We are going to give that a mix. The one thing you obviously see that's missing is like ketchup or tomato paste. Even honey is very popular, although we did put sugar in there.
We're trying to replicate like our favorite local Japanese restaurant sauce.
All right, we're gonna put this in the refrigerator, let it sit, because we have a little prep work to get to. Next up, the preparation for the beef. I've done fried rice 1,000 times. I am the type of person that would like to sear this in whole cuts and then let it rest, cube it up, and then add it to the fried rice, because I like that medium rare. Kind of like switching gears. It's not because my philosophy has changed. I like to change things up. Today I'm going to do a velveting technique. I don't know if I'm actually sold on it. I'm sure if I was blind tested and I could taste it side by side, maybe. I would much rather have a better cut of meat than a tougher cut of meat that you try to tenderize. Really, when it comes to like the beef of your choice, since the fried rice is typically an afterthought, if you want to upscale your meat, obviously your ribeyes, your strips, and your fillets. But being a traditionally low cost value, then I wanted to use a lower cost chunk of meat and see if we can help it out a little bit. I'm not saying this is the exact recipe I would use. I'm gonna try it out on camera. But this is what I call the velveting. I'm not going to rinse the cornstarch or the baking soda. There is a whole plethora, boy, you like that word, don't you, of information you get into whether or not you should velvet, tenderize, rinse, not rinse, and all that stuff. I'm doing it one way. I'm sure there's other ways to do it. First up, let's cut the beef. Let's get it marinated so we can move on to the vegetables. Look at that marbling right there. That's beautiful. Everything I'm doing right now is from the heart or just understanding how it goes. Just a little bit of garlic powder, ginger, a touche of low sodium soy sauce. Just mirroring all those flavors and just a little bit of oyster. Balance the salt with just a little bit of sugar. Not much, probably too much. And the baking soda. Give all this a mix and you let it sit for about 30 minutes. Plenty of time for us to prep our other ingredients, get the griddle on, and ready to go. Got all that mixed in, and then just to come back with a couple tablespoons of water. You'd be amazed how much this beef absorbs it. Starting the vegetables. You can definitely use frozen peas and carrots. My grocery store is out of the frozen peas and carrots, so I got frozen peas, I got fresh carrots. When it comes to your fried rice, I think I stumbled upon something. I'm not the world's greatest, nor point is we really like it. We stumbled upon it, we've done it again, we've done it again, and we've done it again, and it's hard to do without it. And it's very simple. We put the rice on the griddle, a little bit higher temperature. I like the char on the rice. Kind of like the idea of what you would get like a wok, it's called like the wok effect, right? So I do that with the rice. Plus it helps you from not beating your rice to death, which breaks the rice down. We'll get to that. Make a little pond, add your butter, add the garlic, get the garlic fragrant, and then toss your rice in there. I think it makes a world of difference. We'll get to that. You see we're smoking. That's a good sign. Probably 400 to 450. Day-old rice, 2-day-old rice, 3-day-old rice, it doesn't matter. So this is jasmine rice. I prefer it. I just put it in the refrigerator uncovered because I actually think it dries out a little bit more better. But here's the deal about rice. I see still today. All these videos about people adding rice to the griddle, and as soon as they add it down, it's usually in a bowl in a clump, and then they just start whacking the crap out of it. There's a lot of things that we can whack in life. The rice is not one of them. Let the griddle warm up the rice, which will naturally loosen the starches, which will naturally make it a lot easier. You won't fluff your rice in this. You don't want to be sitting there beating the crap out of your rice Because every time you do that, you're breaking the grains and it just comes into mush. So let the griddle do its job. A lot of times when you add your rice to your griddle, you're going to lose a lot of temperature. So I'm not lowering the temperature down now, but I am going to take this side completely on low. That can be our staging area. So now we have 2 burners on medium just to get this rice temperature built up. Make a little well, add your butter, add your garlic. When it comes to this garlic butter, you're only looking to start very softly seeing some color. Not there yet, but the smell is crazy good. Right there. Remember, this is on low. We're parking the rice just for a second so we can come back in or add their raw carrots. They need to cook. Go and add the peas on there, it won't matter. And we're gonna add our onions. Now this has the whites of the onions. If you notice, I separated the greens from the whites. That's because the whites need a little bit more time to cook where the greens are a little bit softer in flavor. So that's why that's a lot of times used from garnish. All right, this side of the burner is off, so this side of the griddle's off right here completely. Just turned it off, plenty of residual heat. You can see that we really haven't poked around on the rice that much, and just coming through it, knocking those big pieces down. As it warms up, continues to warm up, it will break apart for you. Just now starting to bring that smoke back up, just a little bit more oil. If you don't have an infrared gun, don't worry about it. My guess is it's right there about exactly 418. That's exactly what I would have guessed. Really and truly, once you use the same oil over and over again, you understand the smoke points. And a lot of times you can do a telltale sign of how hot your griddle is just by the oil that you use. So spread that around. All right, so medium, low, off. Since I am a big fan of crust, I'm not going to mound it together. Each little spot has its own landing zone. With the beef being so small, there's probably a high probability that you're not going to get a crust on all sides, and that's okay. But one thing I do try to preach is anytime that you eat something like a fried rice or stews, soups, stuff like that, you got to make sure you get multiple components into one bite. If you cut your vegetables or your steak too big, you're never going to get everything on the same fork, and I don't like that. So if you want to go larger on your cuts of meat, that's fine. If you go smaller like I did, you probably can only get a good sear on one side, so just be patient. Those little nuggets right there, that sear zone, that's what I'm talking about. And since I like my beef medium rare, that's all I'm going to take right there. So let's move this over. Make sure you clean as you go. Alrighty, just combining everything together because we're in the down home stretch. Another idea we've come up with, we've added the scrambled eggs straight to the fried rice, and we've completely cooked the eggs off the side. We like a mix. I like the way it coats the rice. I think it gives like a more luxurious feel. Butter helps as well too. But I like to do half and half. Come back in with just a touch of salt on the egg. Only because it's steak, I'm gonna go a little bit heavy on the pepper. Maybe pepper on all. Not adding salt yet because we haven't even added the soy sauce. One last fan out. My favorite thing, chili and oil. Doesn't take a lot, about a half a tablespoon. Let that warm up. As much bean sprouts as you want to add. I'm not a fan of them. The wife likes them. Just put those on the griddle so they can start warming up. Soy sauce. Oyster sauce. Sesame oil. You have to do this at the end. You cannot cook with this. This is right at the very end. You can cook with it. It's not. And a little dab will do you. tops of the green onions, and let's give it one final mix. I'm not a chopstick expert, but I do know that every time I have this, it's almost like I gotta have my sriracha, I gotta have my yum yum sauce, and I gotta have chopsticks, no matter how bad it might look. Well, that's money. That is money. You know the bean sprouts.
I like the bean sprouts.
Do add some crunch.
In a stir fry.
Mm-hmm. We know the rice is good.
I've tried the steak already. The steak is very good.
You like it? I was just gonna say. You like it marinated?
Mm-hmm. I do. I feel like it gives it a lot of flavor.
I'm not gonna disagree with you, but I don't taste it. I taste beef.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it didn't add or take away from the tenderness, but I don't taste the flavorings we put in there. Mm-hmm. That's just me. So is it worth it? I don't know. I do know this. If in fact you're worried about the sear on the steak, because like I said, you probably only have one good chance to get a good sear. By the time you mix everything together, it happens pretty quick. I like to incorporate all my sauces now with all my proteins versus separately then add it. I guess you could do that. I don't know if I do the velvet. I don't know. That's up to you guys. You guys can make that decision. You know, I'm not sold on it. I can't sit up here and preach and say I swear this is the method that you have to all the time. I think a good sear on the beef to me goes a long way, especially with a fried rice. Are you done chowing down? But I tell you what,
keep going.
you're 0 for 4. I mean, you're 4 for 4. All right, guys, there you go.
Good.
Like I said in the beginning of the video, ironically, people reached out. I'm like, I just don't understand why we don't have a steak fried rice recipe. I know I've made it. And I know that, you know, we can incorporate a lot of things that we learned along the way together to make a really good one. This is a really good one. This one will blow anything you eat at the restaurant out of the water. I can promise you that.
I know, that's what I was going to say. And we have done taste tests side by side with multiple Chinese restaurants in our own fried rice recipe.
Yeah.
And ours is always better.
Sauce isn't bad. I'm surprised at the color. It really...
oranged up.
Yeah. For it considered to be a Japanese white sauce versus yum yum sauce, I don't know. They're good. You know, by the time you add mayonnaise, it's all a southern thing. There's a join button down below. It's a membership program. We thank each and every one of you for taking time for doing so. Last but not least, find us on Instagram, find us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, pound the notification button, share with your friends. Peace.
You know, I literally have my fork right here, ready to go. I just noticed that. Like, it's right here.
It's gonna be a good dinner.
I know.